Quick update, 0.5 of Celestial launched maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and I've since tweaked a little bit. Haven't gone through the new features. The loading screen now doesn't block you, and you can choose to log in through Google. Possibly going to add Facebook, considering if that's worthwhile. Or you can play as a guest, and then you go to this title screen. Has updated graphics for Adventure, which is the single player, and Free Play, which is the classic deck builder. You can add a new deck, my deck. If you're playing on a guest account, this will be saved locally, and if you've logged in, it gets saved across, so you could play on a different computer, different device, for example, and it's not liable to be forgotten if you clear cookies or cache or whatever. You will now see that cards that reference other cards show those cards. There's a new layout for the contents of your deck. Also, cards that have keywords will describe what the keyword does. You can also hover over the keyword. There's more tooltips describing various aspects of the cards and some of the different buttons that you'll see. You can add more cards than are allowed in a deck and then trim it down, making it easier. You can see the distribution of costs. You can share a code either by making a new deck or by pasting here. You can also select pre-made decks and learn a little bit about the characters. Some of these are not yet done. Some of them have the models already photographed, but art needs to be made. Others, we're still looking for models, but have ideas of the characters. So playing one of these pre-made decks can be a good starting point for new players. You'll notice that there isn't pop-ups that direct you towards these things. This is one of a number of UI UX problems that we hope to fix in the future. You can play against AI, computer, player, or you can match with someone using a password. This is the same as it was, but better describes what's going on. So if I search for a player now, I probably won't find one. This is the searching screen, but I can play against the computer, and this is the mulligan view of things, and then the game starts. You have all the cards in your deck in an unordered fashion, cards in your discard pile. As before, you can see, so when a player would draw a card from their deck, but their deck is empty, their discard pile gets shuffled. And in the past, it's this annoying tedium to have to write down everything that they shuffle before they shuffle, because it's really useful information. So if the opponent has shuffled and you know what they've shuffled, it will appear here. You can also see what's in their discard pile. Cards that are played to the story that don't have visible, such as Dove has visible, you can't see until the story finishes. Once both players have passed, I'm just going to pause to see this scene. This is nighttime when the story is performed. I'm going to have more points and end up winning this round. There's also improved visuals for winning and losing. There are various options as well as rulebook and credits that are accessible from the option menu at any time. You can also press ESC key. The breath that something costs, you'll see in the bottom right hand corner, is shown if it's playable. Otherwise it shows how much extra beyond what you have. If you have Inspire, which is a keyword, that will also appear showing you that you, so for example the opponent has Inspire, which you can hover and learn more about. You can now emote, which the opponent will be able to see if this is player versus player. This is showing the discard pile. And for this game, other features. So recap will show you the previous night, how that resolved. In case you missed something, there's also now the option to jump between cards if in the later rounds, as the story gets longer, you want to skip to the right place. I'm going to quit for now, and then if I do adventure here, it will start the tutorial, which is new. Yeah, so there's a little bit of introduction for new players. In the future, hopefully it will better steer players towards this. So this is story exposition about the greater story, which is there's this city that these 6 people have been invited to, and they come and they tell stories about their lives and their perspectives. But quickly, there are 3 tutorials that slowly introduce the player to the game. Some of the cards are first explained, and then you begin playing. This experience lasts, for someone new picking it up, maybe roughly 20 minutes. At the end of it, you're on the world map, which is brand new. So there's a large world map where you explore and you do different missions for the different characters, and you can unlock cards. And as you progress, things get a little bit more challenging. You get more freedom in how you build your decks. But you'll notice that the backgrounds of these different cards signify essentially what category they fit into. So you have birds that have certain metaphorical themes to them and also certain play styles. You have this like vision, seeing. You have birth. You have this like controlling, shadowy, darker side that Mia embodies in some of her cards. There are 8 of those, 6 that are core to the characters, and then 2 that are somewhat shared, being stars, which are like wonder and kind of dream, and then water being largely metaphor for power flowing, money, etc. A little bit similar to some of the imagery in Frank Herbert, if you've read Dune. So this is 0.5. Many of the goals for this were met. Some of them we've pushed down the road and thought more about. Mobile is the largest one. There are a couple of assets that are still missing. The sound effects need tweaking and redesign, although there is a great soundtrack that we're happy with. And then a lot of the UI finish, like the color of the backgrounds and the color of these different borders and elements, needs work. Some of the iconography, how the pages flow, needs work. That will hopefully be accomplished in 0.6 as we start to roadmap and assemble the right people who are going to work on the right pieces of that. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a review of the 0.5 changes for Celestial.